Welcome, welcome everyone. Today we are going to read a memoir. It is called Block Party by Jewel Parker Rhodes. You can read along as I read. We lived in the dark green hills of Pittsburgh, where the smoke from JL Steel dusted our clothes gray and blanketed the sky, causing sunsets to streak bright pink and orange. Streetcar wires crisscrossed overhead, making perches for the hungry crows who flew high when the lumbering cars came, spewing electric sparks. Sometimes we'd put pennies in the metal tracks, and wait for them to be squashed flat as the streetcars rumbled over them, carrying passengers down the hills into the heart of the city that rested over by the three rivers, Ohio, Monongahela, and Allegheny. But what I remember most about growing up in Pittsburgh was living in the neighborhood where everyone acted like a relative, an aunt, an uncle, a brother, or a sister. Lots of women acted like my mother, bossing me, feeding me. Many would hold me on their laps and tell me stories about High John, the conqueror of John Henry. Some felt no shame about whipping out a comb and fixing my hair when they thought I looked too raggedy. And days when I was lucky, one of my neighborhood mothers would jump in the circle and join me in a waist-twisting, hip-rolling hula hoop. Sometimes it drove me crazy to have so many mothers, but it also made me feel safe. My real mother was gone, divorced from us, living in another city, but I lived with my dad, my grandparents, an aunt, a sister, and a cousin who I called a sister. Dad, aunt, and grandpa went off to work while grandma took care of us. On Tuesdays, she did the laundry in the basement and she let us stir the argo starch and turn the roller drums to wring out all the wet clothes. Then we helped hang the clothes in the line, and when the sheets were dry, she turned a blind eye while we played hide and seek among them. In the house, we'd hike to the third floor and slide down the two banisters, smooth and fast, convinced it was better than any roller coaster ride at Kennywood Park. We had a red tricycle with a bell. My sister, Tony, had outgrown it. I was just the right size, while cousin Alita was too small. But when grandma made chitlins, we would share the bike and make a game of driving through the stinking kitchen while grandma cleaned out the pig's guts, yuck, and boiled them. We'd ride our bike through a dangerous territory, ringing our bell once we hit the kitchen linoleum, hollering and hooting like wild ones, or as grandma would say, like silly children with no sense. If you held your nose, you couldn't ring the bell and steer at the same time. So we'd count how many bells to figure out who won, who braved the skunky odor and didn't hold their nose the most. The best part of growing up was the world we saw from our front stoop. Window Chalmers mothered all the children, watching over us from their perch, waving her fan from the Methodist church to cool herself in the summer heat. Mr. Berry, who had a splotch of pink roses on his cheek, like checkers, and would roam the streets looking for a partner, carrying his own lawn chair. He even played with Alita, who was 5 and had to be told every move. There was Jim, who played ball, spinning, ducking, and diving, and throwing hoops into a basketball net. It would only stop if someone was in any trouble. Jim, my car stalled. Jim, can you drive me to the grocery store? Jim, my sink is clogged. Jim later joined the Army and came home and dunked 3 baskets in his clodhopper black shoes and khaki uniforms. My sister Tony, at 11, swore she'd marry him. Stuck-up Rachel liked to cheat at jacks and had to be blackmailed into playing double dutch. I'll give you some of Grandma's chicken from Sunday dinner, I'd offer. I promised a drumstick for each 20 minutes she turned the rope while I sang and dreamed of winning double dutch champion at the Y. Truth be told, Grandma would have given anyone who asked a piece of her chicken. Rachel knew it. I knew it. Everyone knew it. But Rachel was 2 years older than I. And like another big sister, She was nice enough to let me think I was putting one over on her. Sitting on the steps, looking up and down the block, I saw and felt a world where I was safe, where I knew everybody and everybody knew me. Everybody was brown and black, and when babies were born, we'd all wait for them to grow into their skin. Their shades would sometimes grow lighter, sometimes darker. Even the color of their eyes would change. Blue became brown, hazel changed to deep green, and brown irises would mellow to a luminous black. Hair textures all varied: soft, bouncy, waves, strands curled and fizzy, tight spirals, or even hair thick and straight because of throwback to a Cherokee. I knew we were all pretty. Summer block parties were the best. We'd close off traffic, and sometimes the fire department would open the hydrants, and we'd dance and sing while water gushed at us. A spray of wet beneath the moon and stars. Tony, Alita, and I pushed boxes together to make a stage and lip sync to the record player, pretending we were the Supremes. Stop, in the name of love, before you break my heart, think it over. And we giggle as the grown-ups clapped and the other children squealed, and everyone danced. Even Fat Charlie, who could boogie so well you'd swear that he has magic in his shoes. The best block parties happen for no reason. Anyone, even a child, could wake up one day and call for block party day. And we'd share ribs, corn, chicken, tater pie, and collard greens. And Miss Sarah, never married, always made punch with vanilla ice cream in it, would melt into a squishy mess. Finally, then legs wouldn't move another dance step. Then the record player was taken away. The street was swept. There were cries and whispers of good night. My real family and I, we'd go into the house. Grandma, grandpa, aunt, and daddy would tuck us in the bed and kiss me. Tony and Alita, good night. And I would wait until Tony and Alita were asleep in the small twin beds. I didn't want them to think I was off my head. And I'd go to the window. Then peeking over the ledge, I whispered my own private good night to the rest of my family, tucked in their beds inside the tall houses along my street. There in the city where the three rivers meet. This was Block Party by Jewel Parker Rose. Jewel Parker Rose teaches at Arizona State University in Tempe, Arizona. Despite what she calls her fondness for gloomy days, she lives with her family in the sunny Arizona desert. As a child, some of Parker Rose's happiest times were block parties. I loved lip syncing to records, she says, and I often imagined I'd grow up to become a singer or an actress. Instead, in college, she chose to earn degrees in drama criticism, English, and creative writing. As a writer, Parker Rose says, I can be anything and everything in my imagination. She has written scholarly nonfiction as well as magazine articles, stories, and a novel. She is a co-author of the school book series that includes this literature book. So today, I want you guys, after I asked you what family meant to you at the beginning. For some of you, it may have been kind of difficult to answer the question. But today I'm going to share with you a strategy called the RACE, R-A-C-E, which is a strategy that you use in order to answer questions. So let's go over this PowerPoint and we'll answer the question. Okay, so RACE, method for answering questions. When you use RACE, all you have to do is remember this acronym. R-A-C-E is an acronym. R stands for restate. You are to restate the question and make it into a statement as part of the answer you provide. A means answering. You answer the question, include all parts of the question. C means to cite what led you to the idea, giving supporting evidence. You can include direct quotes from a text. So citing evidence means you use directly what you saw from the text. So like the author says this, the text states this. For example, in this paragraph, the author says this. E is for explain. How the quote or paraphrases you pointed out support your idea. This shows blank. This is because blank. This means blank. So restate the question. Here's an example for that. What is one struggle Golden Midas faces in the game? I use Golden Midas as this first example because if you play Fortnite, you know who I'm talking about. One struggle in the game that Golden Midas faces is what? Answer the question. I'm gonna switch over to the real Midas for this example, but you can follow, and I want you guys to learn about the real mythical Midas as well. What is one struggle King Midas faces in the story? Okay, so I started out with the R. We're restating the question here. You see right here, one struggle in the story that King Midas faces, that's restating the question. Everything he touches turns to gold. That's answering the question. That's the A component of race. C, gonna cite what led you to that idea. Okay, starting from the beginning, the R, one struggle in the story that King Midas faces is, the A is everything he touches turns to gold. Then we go to the C component, the citing. The author said King Midas literally had the golden touch, and everything he touched, no matter what it was, turned into gold. Now, to the last step of the race, which is E. You're going to explain that. What does that mean that everything he touches turns into gold? Why? This is because you can start some sentences like that. So back to the R, the race. Restating the question. One struggle in the story that King Midas faces is, the A is everything he touches turns to gold. The C, the author said King Midas literally had the golden touch, and everything he touched, no matter what it was, turned into gold. And now we're going to explain all that. This means that even his food would turn into gold when he touched it, which led him to starve to death because you can't eat gold. So in your answering of your question of what does family mean to you, you could have used the race method in order to answer the question, and it would have made it much easier if you had difficulty answering. So assignment for today, go ahead and re-answer that question using the race method. And don't worry about, you can be the author when you explain it, and also when you cite evidence. And that was your ELA lesson of the day. Peace.